Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Um, Tommy Robinson and the state of the UK. First, I want to say Happy Memorial Day. Right now I'm just waiting for my beef stew to cool down, and I figured I'd do this video because there's a lot of buzz going on online. But I want to say Happy Memorial Day. I'm thankful the for the great sacrifices that have been made for me to be able to sit here in front of this camera, wear this hat, wear this shoulder holster with this Browning High Power, eat beef stew, and wear this shirt. You know, it says "Got Conflict, Official Peacekeeper," and just basically just to be able to live my life as an American. And the thing is, that's always going to be in jeopardy. There's always going to be some group, some individual, someone out there who wants to piss in everyone's cereal, who wants to make things worse, whether it be through acts of violence or um, spreading lies. Liberty is always at stake, and it's always important to stay vigilant so that we can continue this great experiment. Because this is the last stop. You know, the U.S., these United States is the last stop here. Because what's going on across the pond is not looking pretty. Tommy Robinson, if you're not familiar with who he is, he's a journalist and he's been covering a lot of the things that have been going on in the UK. He covers he covers the effects of multiculturalism, which I'm against. I believe certain cultures are backwards, certain cultures are savage. You know, I'm not to say that the culture that I subscribe to is without fault, but there are some out there that are just he was basically he got arrested. It seems like he got arrested for covering particular crimes that have been going on in the UK. With them bringing in more I guess Muslim migrants, just people from the outside who don't assimilate to their culture, who basically section themselves off to keep them assimilating to the local flavor. They bring along a lot of the trash that's something that they have in their own culture. And one of the things they do, and what he was covering was these rape gangs that have been terrorizing native population, other members of the UK, other Britons, and he was arrested outside of a courthouse for covering, I guess covering the event after the sentencing of these gangs. They got prison time, and and Tommy Robinson himself had a suspended sentence. I forgot what it was for, but there's plenty of info online for you to check out. But first off, he was arrested for covering the event. So basically there was no freedom of the press. He couldn't cover and gather information about what was going. He was live streaming. He couldn't gather information about what was going on and to inform other people of what was happening in his own country. So that's one thing that we do have here. We have as much as it can be, as much as it drives people up the wall as to what gets reported, we still have freedom of the press. I'm still able to come in front of this camera and talk to you guys about this kind of stuff. So that's great. My understanding was he couldn't have a lawyer. He wasn't able to have a lawyer with him when he was brought to trial, and which is something that we have here. We have the right to counsel, or to represent ourselves, or have legal counsel, whether it be provided but through our own pockets or by local government. And he was given a 13-month sentence, which there's a chance that he may die in prison, because there was a report of another man who I think he threw a bacon sandwich at a mosque, which is that's tame, compared to many things that have been done to compared to many other crimes. That's low, and he was given a year, but it said that he was killed in prison, and most likely he was killed by other Muslims that didn't like what he did. So there's a chance that Tommy Robinson may face some violence when he goes where he is right now, and it's basically turned into a police state, if not already, or if it wasn't already that for some time, and it's a very sad state of affairs for the UK. I hope you guys go out there and check out the information that's going on right now, so you can stay informed. But if it seems like that stuff that they have over there across the pond, that kind of stuff can happen here too. It may have even happened here in the past, or maybe currently going on. But for the most part, we're able to inform everyone about the state of our nation's affairs, and keep informed so that we can actually do something about it. So that we have a say in what goes on in our own government, what goes on in our communities, and that power, that's power that we do have, should not be taken lightly. It should be exercised whenever possible, so that we don't fall into I guess atrophy, and then basically just anything can catch us slipping, and then and then we'll be going through the same thing that's going on across the pond, whether it be with freedom of the press, search and seizure, right to keep and bear arms, right to counsel, many other a myriad of other things that we're able to do here, and that's guaranteed by our Constitution. They really don't have it anywhere else. So I want to take this time for you guys to think about what's at stake here at home, and think about what can happen if we're not careful, if we're not being vigilant, and if we're not prepared to act when stuff like that starts happening over here. We don't want that to happen over here, but if it does, if it starts creeping over here, we can, we'll be better, we'll be more fit to respond to it. So, it's a sad thing that happened to the sad thing to see happen to a journalist. And I hope you guys out there are. I hope we Tommy, hang in there. God be with you, and God be with this nation, as well as your nation, because y'all definitely need it. But just wanted to do this quick video before I eat. If you got any comments, leave them in the comment section. If you want to make a donation to the channel, go to my homepage and look for the Give Up That Cheese button. You leave a donation of any amount's appreciated. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I see what I can do to address them. We still have that liberty here in this nation. But that's my video. The situation with Tommy Robinson and the state over at the UK. I'm Edward Jones. Happy Memorial Day, and take care.